Yesterday I fixed 2 teeth, now I'm stuck with my cherry tomatoes. 안녕하세요. 저는 그리스에서 온 정니키라고 합니다. 심해라. Wait, what? Sorry, this is what we call a multicultural shock. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not it is possible to learn a language through YouTube. Easiest, funnest thing ever. So I've given this topic a fair amount of thought and kind of tried to see if it's possible to fully entrust your learning. I guess I have a kind of a 50-50 kind of results. So I'm here to share those results with you and what I've thought, what I've been doing for the last month, I think. And you can kind of see if it works for you. As I've said, everyone learns differently, so this might work out for you 100%, might not. So yeah, I hope you find this helpful. Let's see. No, I think I've suggested this before, but watching cartoons in your target language is actually really helpful. Why cartoons over something else? So, well, when you start learning a language, you're kind of like a baby and you try to start learning a language without having language parents. So you don't have someone who speaks Hindi, who speaks Norwegian. You just have to do it yourself. You have to surround yourself with that language. So how do you do that? So imagine you're a baby and your parents start speaking to you in your target language. They will not start talking to you about economics, about politics, about relationships, about love. They'll start talking to you about baby, don't do that, baby, eat, you know, baby, let's take a walk, put on your shoes, your shirt is really beautiful. You know, they're going to tell you really simple stuff because no one expects a baby to know about politics. So the reason you shouldn't really start from news or movies, actual movies, is because you won't get much while watching. Now, maybe cartoons is a lot too at the beginning because you have, you know, animation characters talking to each other and you don't really know what they're saying. So let's go a bit further back. So before cartoons, what do we do? First thing I really kind of discovered with German, really, not with any other language, is that you could actually find videos on YouTube that teach numbers, that teach basic conversations, that teach the colors, cooking ingredients, furniture, what's in the house, like a door, a window. They teach you all that kind of stuff. And it's not really a cartoon, but more of kind of an educational TV program. I've seen colors in books, obviously. I remember in the first book, most likely, there was a chapter for colors and it was like red, parantsik, and brown, karesik. And obviously, as soon as I read them, I forgot them because if you base your learning in memorization, it will go from 5 minutes to a week. It won't last that much. Whereas if you connect it to something, to an image, to listening something, you are more likely to remember it. For instance, I didn't know what brown is in Korean. I learned it throughout that animation, karesik. So I think before watching, I don't know, Peppa the Pig or Masha and the Bear in whichever language you're learning, it's much better to find that kind of topic first. So instead of jumping right into watching a Disney movie in your target language, it's much better if you listen to those programs first. It's kind of time consuming, yes, I know, and not everybody loves cartoons and stuff, but the alternative is really opening a book and kind of try to memorize them, which doesn't always work, as I said, because, okay, you open the book and you see masa is table in Turkish, okay, lovely, and sandalye is a chair, okay, so you learn 20 words, and the next day, chances are you won't remember even 5 of them. Why? Because you base your learning in memorization. And it doesn't have to do with you, it doesn't have to do with your brain, it's just that if you don't have a visual or acoustic connection to what you're learning, chances are you won't remember it really. So if you're learning Turkish, write numaralar and then you will get a ton of videos just teaching you numbers in Turkish. So the next type of videos I suggested is obviously cartoons, and that could be, I don't know, Bugs Bunny in Swedish, or it could be a Disney movie in your target language. The best thing you could do is actually put on a favorite Disney movie of yours. So let's say I know Lion King by heart. So when I'm watching The Lion King in Korean, the plot really doesn't matter because I know the plot, I know what's gonna happen. So all I'm focusing on is the vocabulary that I'm hearing. And plus, because I know what the text is about, I can kind of understand what the lions are saying. So I don't really need subtitles either because I know what they're saying, because I memorized it, because I've watched it 3,000 times, etc. Because Disney movies are really high-pitched in tone. There's also some funny scenes, there's some intense scenes. you're more likely to remember vocabulary or entire sentences, which is even better. Now, what I could suggest for all my grammar lovers out there is kind of balancing the two. So watching and studying grammar. So watch, I don't know, an hour of cartoons, 30 minutes, as much time as you have. Like, wake up in the morning, you know, just like a toddler, wake up in the morning, put some cereal, and then turn on any cartoon you like, and then study grammar for an hour or two, if you know, if that's your thing. Next up, if you don't want to study grammar, there's also actual online classes on YouTube. So for languages that are a bit more popular in learning, for Spanish, French, German, there are solid online classes on YouTube. Like, I know this guy that teaches grammar, German grammar, for about 3-4 hours per video. I don't know, for European languages, I really don't want to study grammar. I just want to kind of naturally immerse myself. I can't bring myself to study any grammar, nor for German, nor for Spanish or French. I can't sit down and do that. So that's initially the reason that I started this kind of experiment and see how it goes. But yeah, if online classes and someone teaching you is your thing, then I suggest you search for those kind of classes. So now that you've gotten an idea of what your target language sounds like and you've gotten the basics, there's another really cool type of videos that I really enjoy watching, and I found them really educational, to be fair. I had never considered those type of videos as a learning source, but well, there's a first time for everything. And those type of videos are, I spoke this language with my girlfriend, boyfriend for 24 hours. Again, this happened with German for the first time, and there's this channel that I really used to like before I even liked German, where the guy is German and the girl is from the United States. And so Phil, the guy, has done several videos where he talks to his girlfriend in German, just German, and he actually puts subtitles to everything he's saying. So because in this type of videos, one of the people doesn't know the language that the other is talking in, that means that the person speaking in your target language is saying very simple phrases. So let's say Phil here wouldn't speak about economics to his girlfriend who knows basic German. He would say something a little simpler, you know, like, do you want coffee? Good morning, and let's go do that, and you know, something a little simpler, which is exactly what you need. So that's the reason that these type of videos are very helpful, because one, you have subtitles, two, you have people speaking in a very simple kind of conversation. So yeah, invest as much time as possible to those type of videos, because these are realistic conversations, these are phrases you might need, and yes, you might not understand, that's okay, you know, you have subs, but kind of try to listen and imitate the accent, pronunciation, kind of finding useful vocabulary. You don't have to memorize everything, just, you know, a few phrases here and there are just perfect. And once you've gotten the hang of the language and you're getting better and better, it's time to start watching vlogs and vids in your target language. Here, there are several things you could do. What I usually do is Google Translate and just write a day in my life on Google Translate, translate it to your target language, and then put that sentence in YouTube. You will get vlogs in your target language, and that's super easy and it doesn't really require much effort. You see people in their normal kind of everyday environment, how they communicate, what vocabulary they use, what structures they use in their sentences, and that's a pretty, you know, effortless, easy way to learn a language. Just before going to bed, watch 2-3 vlogs, you know. And then the last step you can take is obviously news. Now, I don't know for every language, but for Korean, which I needed for the last 2 months, if you write 한국 뉴스 방송, 재방송, or 라이브, then you can find Korean, like a live stream of Korean news on YouTube without having to have the channels. And you know, you have a really good vocabulary, really good grammar, then you can listen to news like no problem and actually learn to speak a lot more elegantly, kind of, you know, with a much better choice of words, and that's what news do. So that's it for today. Yeah, I'm glad I put my thoughts in one video, and kind of, yes, I hope it helped you. I hope I've given you an idea of how to take advantage of YouTube and kind of put it into practice in your favor. Start very low, guys, okay? Don't have very high expectations. A baby doesn't learn a language in 1 month, okay? That's impossible. A baby learns a language from his first year to his 3rd, 4th year, you know? So give it time, don't pressure yourself. Make sure you enjoy the process, because you only learn a language once, you know? You want, yeah, do what works for you. You like to keep notes, keep notes. You like watching, just watching without keeping notes, and you can memorize this way, just because of visuals, do that. You want to learn grammar, like memorize 3 books of grammar, perfect, do that. Do whatever floats your boat. I can't find you the best technique just because everyone learns differently. So that's it. I hope I've enlightened you. I'm really glad I actually shared this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. 안녕히 가세요.